Hello, my name is Vigeant, and for the last 10 years, I've had the honor and privilege of being the mayor of Marlborough. Over that time, working together, we have accomplished so much. We've built a new senior center, remodeled the Memorial Beach, constructed 3 turf fields. But for the last year and a half, we've been forced to change direction. When COVID hit, we worked with Bouvier Pharmacy to set up a testing site at the senior center, and with Marlborough Hospital in setting up a regional testing site. We also set up additional testing at the Marlborough Public Schools and immediately shifted to virtual classrooms to continue our students' education. Although City Hall and other municipal buildings were not open for a time, we never stopped servicing residents. Drop boxes were located in the front and the rear of City Hall, and all offices remained operational. Once vaccines were approved, we set up clinics at the senior center and at a regional site through the federal program with Marlborough Hospital. We held regular press conferences, continuously updated our website and social media pages, and I continue to give regular updates at City Council meetings, all to keep you, our residents, informed. We hired multilingual ambassadors to go door to door and assist residents in some of our older neighborhoods. And since the beginning of the pandemic, our school cafeteria staff provided over 400,000 meals for our students and their families. Despite this change in direction, the city continued to move forward. We opened Goodnow Brothers Elementary School, both on time and millions of dollars under budget. We maintained our AAA bond rating, saving taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest costs. We expanded our commercial tax base with new companies like BJ's Wholesale Club and Resilience Bio. With the support of the City Council, I implemented a housing moratorium. After the first of the year, I will work with the City Council to welcome new projects that are beneficial to Marlborough. Our commercial base is important to keep tax increases to a minimum for our residential taxpayers and help support our small businesses by generating new customers for our gas stations, convenience stores, and restaurants. In addition, we are finalizing 4 solar projects that will all be online by the end of the calendar year. The first is already completed in generating savings with green energy for our community. Although we had a slight delay in the library project, we are back on track and construction has begun. Within 2 years, our library staff will be in their newly upgraded home. We have continued our commitment to upgrade roads, sidewalks, and will start the final phase of our lead pipe replacement project. We expanded our Hometown Heroes program, recognizing our veterans with over 300 banners throughout the downtown area. The Pleasant Street Senior Housing Facility upgrade is underway and should be finished by spring. Our police department has maintained their accredited status with the Massachusetts Accreditation Commission. One of the most important announcements we have made in the last 2 years is identifying a site for the West Side Fire Station. After years of discussions and committee meetings, I have requested funding from the City Council to purchase property for this vital public safety building. We are in the process of renovating our French Hill neighborhood with utility upgrades, additional parking and public restrooms for our trail users, and new bike lanes connecting to Main Street. These are just a few of the successes we've delivered in the last 2 years. Over the next 2 years, I want to complete the construction of both the public library and the West Side Fire Station. Continue upgrades on our public housing facilities, fields, and recreation areas. Keep our police and fire departments fully staffed, and continue our commitment to road, water, and sewer improvements, all while keeping Marlborough affordable. This is why I ask for your vote on Tuesday, November 2nd, so I can continue to move Marlborough forward.
Hello, my name is Michael Ossing, and I'm running for one of the 4 Council-at-Large seats. I'm currently serving my 11th term as your Council-at-Large. I'm running because I believe my education, experience, and passion for a government that solves problems will ensure that Marlborough plans for and prospers in the future. I'm 62 years old and have lived in Marlborough for 60 years. I've been married to my lovely wife, Linda, for 31 years. We have 2 wonderful children, Kaylin, age 30, and Cameron, age 29. I graduated from the Marlborough Public School System and received my Bachelor of Science degree in Nuclear Engineering from the University of Lowell. I recently retired after being employed at the Seabrook Station Nuclear Power Plant for over 35 years. At Seabrook Station, I've held various engineering, project management, and leadership positions, including licensing manager and engineering programs manager. I am an engineer by profession. I've been solving problems in the workplace for over 40 years, problems involving local, state, and federal people. I will continue to apply the problem-solving skills that I developed in the private sector to my work as your Council-at-Large. During my 11 terms as your Council-at-Large, I have served on numerous committees. My passion and more significant contributions have been as Chair of the Finance Committee and most recently President of your City Council. In the leadership positions I have held on the Council, we successfully accomplished the following. The tax rate in Marlborough has declined in 5 of the last 6 years and is lower than any of the surrounding towns. The average tax adjustment of less than 2.7% for the average house over the last 8 years is lower than any of the surrounding towns, and the city provides more services. Increased our stabilization account to over $16.8 million. This is commonly referred to as the rainy day fund and positions the city to plan financial transactions and minimizes the impact on the tax rate. Coordinated the approval of grants for improvements at Stevens Park, Galone Park, Memorial Beach, Ward Park, and the Senior Center. This improves the quality of life for the young and not so young residents of Marlborough. I've been appointed chair of the Ad Hoc Municipal Aggregation Committee and have successfully saved Marlborough residential electric users $2.9 million since November 2019. Established the Climate Resiliency Committee, and as council president, I successfully led the City Council through COVID while maintaining an effective and efficient council. These accomplishments demonstrate my commitment to you, the taxpayers, that I treat every request to spend your money seriously. The councilors you elect will be spending your hard-earned money. What you need to decide is which councilor at large do you trust with your money. Issues that I'm interested in pursuing as your councilor at large include fiscal responsibility, working to ensure Marlborough residents get the most for their tax dollar, work towards a steady, stable, and predictable yearly tax adjustments, ensuring public safety positions are staffed to support the needs of Marlborough and its citizens, continuing to expand the city's green footprint, including solar panels on city facilities, continually challenging the mayor and department heads to find innovative ways to improve city services that will reduce your tax burden, and ensuring the finances are in place to fund the 5-year capital plan that includes the library renovation and a fire station on the west side of the city. Revise the zoning for the Donald Lynch Boulevard area to ensure it's a healthy economic engine for the city. And finally, ensure Lincoln Mechanic Street lot is developed with a mixed-use project that the city will be proud of. I'm a firm believer that if you have a vision of what the future holds, you can make it happen. I may not know how we will get there, but I believe we have the people and the talent that can make it happen. In closing, I offer the citizens of Marlborough a councilor that is independent. I have accepted no money from individuals or special interest groups. I have used my money to run the campaign, not yours. Your money belongs in your pocket. This enables me to focus my energies on what is in the best interest of the city and not returning political favors or debts. I will bring energy, effort, and enthusiasm combined with leadership skills and experience to your city council. You have the unique opportunity on November 2nd to select the team that will be representing the city. I want to be on that team. Please vote for Michael Ossing, Councilor at Large, on November 2nd. Thank you for listening.
I would like to thank the staff at WMCT-TV for allowing me this opportunity to provide my candidate's profile. I would also like to thank the voters of our great city for allowing me to serve as one of your city councilors at large and previously as the Ward 6 city councilor. The experience I have gained both in my opportunity to be a local ward councilor and an at-large councilor and my background in public health has allowed me to offer representation for the many needs of our city. I have resided in Marlborough for most of my life and appreciate the many assets of our city that it has to offer to our residents and businesses. I was educated in the Marlborough school system and continued my education at Framingham State College, receiving a Bachelor's of Science. I continued my higher education, pursuing a Master's in Public Health at Boston University. I also have taken courses that allow me to teach sciences at the secondary school level. Being a government leader requires continuing education, and I have taken courses in public administration and leadership. My children, now adults, were all able to seek higher education after going through the Marlborough Public Schools. Our public schools have terrific advantages when it comes to programs for students to excel. Many thanks to our educators and staff, including the many challenges they face during the times of our present pandemic. Our schools are one of the city's most important assets. Also, many thanks to our heroes who serve our community, including the public health staff, police and fire, and all the other public employees who served our community while we're going through this pandemic. As a long-term member of the Marlborough Rotary Club, I am able to participate in many events and support community needs. I am grateful to be part of this organization that has taken the challenges to end polio worldwide. As Rotarians, we seek to provide the basic needs throughout the world and in Marlborough. We provide resources to the needy, improve our local resources, and we provide scholarships for our students in Marlborough. Our family resides off of Fort Meadow, another beautiful treasure for Marlborough. My daughter, Allison, now a registered occupational therapist, resides on the other side of Marlborough on Mount Pleasant Street with her husband, Cam. In this house is where I grew up. My wife, Kathy, and our sons, Stephen and Brian, reside with us, and they continue with their college education and pursuing their professional areas. There were many opportunities for outdoor recreation when I grew up in Marlborough, as there is now, including our improved school grounds and recreation facilities. The Goodnow Elementary School is our new elementary school that was constructed in good time, thanks to the many persons involved from the beginning to the end stages. The library is now the new project and at the beginning of the construction and will be another great asset for our community members when finished. I continue to be committed to managing these needed services for our community members with a careful watch on our income received and annual budget request. I will continue to be watchful on our budget, and I will continue to suggest ways to save the income we receive by carefully appropriating these monetary resources. I have been on the City Council Finance Subcommittee for several years and worked with the mayor and our city councilors in keeping a careful watch on our finances and annual budget. Serving as one of your city councilors at large is a privilege, and my voting record shows my concerns and support for our educational resources, elderly services, and safety needs. I have and will always bear my allegiance to our community members who have entrusted me in serving on their behalf. As your city councilor at large, I will offer my experience and professional background in public health, administration, and leadership when making decisions for our community. My voting record shows that I support our community members first and will continue to look out for our community members' best interest. I request your vote to allow me the privilege to continue to be one of your city councilors at large. Please cast one of your votes for Mark Oram on Tuesday, November 2nd. Thank you.
I want to thank WMCT-TV for this opportunity to speak to the people of Marlborough. My name is Kathleen Robey. I currently serve as an at-large city councilor, and I'm running for re-election. I have served the city as an at-large councilor since 2012. Being sworn into office in January of 2020 with two other women was especially memorable as we marked the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, giving women the right to vote. Hopefully, we will continue to see more women on the council. Councilors began our terms under normal conditions. but circumstances quickly changed as the city dealt with the impact of the coronavirus. The pandemic has deeply affected the lives of all the residents in the city. We saw hospitals flooded with people suffering from COVID. Too many people lost loved ones. We all endured isolation and the disruption of so many of the things we take for granted in our daily lives. Easy travel, plentiful entertainment, the company of friends and family as we celebrate the milestones of our children's lives. We've missed all of these things for almost 2 years. Many residents have lost jobs or had their hours shortened. Our city, being a local hub for services that support the technology and sports facilities of the 495 corridor, was particularly vulnerable to travel restrictions and the shutdown of almost all sports and entertainment facilities. Our children had to spend almost 2 years of their lives separated from their friends and deprived of important community experiences of the classroom and many of the extracurricular activities that make up such a vital part of growing up. Despite these truly extraordinary circumstances, our city came together in so many ways to meet the challenge as a community. I'm proud of how we avoided unproductive divisiveness and are now focused on the business of recovery. We see signs of this recovery everywhere. Main Street is bursting again. We opened a new elementary school on time and under budget. Construction on our streets continued through the summer. I was thrilled to march with the rest of the City Council in Marlborough's renowned Labor Day Parade. The sound of football has returned on Friday nights. Work funded through a Mass Works grant on Lincoln Street is almost complete, including the extension of the Assabet Rail Trail to downtown. These are examples of a real return to normal. However, we can't take this for granted. We need to remain focused on securing the health of our residents and the health of our local economy. I'll continue to support strong public health measures necessary to keep the coronavirus in retreat. We have many tools available to help restore our local economy. We on the Council need to use every one of these to keep the momentum of recovery. This year's election is a bit unusual in that the 4 current Councilor at-large seats are all uncontested. Despite this, I do not take the support of our citizens for granted. I've often said that government, especially local government, remains one of the clearest expressions of our sense of community. Voting is your voice telling us how our community should be organized and operated. Let's hear from you. Being a part of our local government has allowed me to share and help others. I will continue to talk to people, listen carefully, and do my homework. I will back up my votes with facts while being respectful to everyone who brings their business to the City Council. Early voting began Saturday, October 23rd, and runs through Friday, October 29th. Final voting takes place on Election Day, November 2nd. All these opportunities make voting easy. So please remember to vote. When you do, I ask you to vote for Kathleen Robey, Councilor at Large.
Hello, Marlborough residents. My name is Samantha Perlman, and I am one of your current City Councilors at Large, running for re-election this year. Thank you to WMCT-TV for providing this opportunity to share information with you about our candidacy. First, I want to take a moment to say I appreciate all of you for doing your part to keep yourself and your neighbors safe during this pandemic. To our city workers and small business owners, teachers, and other public servants, thank you for leading the charge to keep our city moving during a period of uncertainty. Serving as your city councilor the last 2 years has been a tremendous honor. It was because of residents like you who recognized the need for new leadership that I became elected in 2019 as a first-time candidate. I am running for re-election because our city is strongest when we have a wide range of voices leading it. As the youngest woman to serve on the council, and having grown up in Marlborough, I add an important perspective that brought a new wave of resident engagement to local government. I am proud to have grown up in our incredible city and be a graduate of the Marlborough Public Schools. Then I received my bachelor's degree from Emory University. My professional background is in the nonprofit sector in civic engagement and voting. Through my nonprofit role, I helped secure passage of a 2018 law to solidify project-based civic education in Massachusetts, which is impacting schools across the state, including Marlborough. Currently, I am continuing my education as a law student at Boston College Law School, where I am pursuing a dual degree in partnership with Tufts University in urban and environmental policy and planning. I initially became active in our local government as an appointed member and then chair of the Marlborough Cultural Council. So quick plug, joining a local board is a great way to get involved. Formally, I took office in January of 2020. During this pandemic, we saw the value of having proactive, responsive, and empathetic leaders at the local level. I quickly adapted to support community members as meetings moved remotely and our entire world changed. From delivering food through the senior aid program, helping with unemployment applications, securing food for our community cupboard, offering online public health events to inform residents, and promoting testing and vaccines. Through social media, I keep residents informed and consistently share information about every full council meeting, including details about the topics and votes. I also hosted several office hours, first in person and then virtual, to promote individual engagement with residents, which I plan to continue in this next term. My top priority is an equitable recovery for all in Marlborough. It is important as one of your elected officials that I am modeling and promoting clear public health guidance, ensuring continued vaccine and testing access, and supporting our families, schools, and small businesses in these rapidly changing circumstances. Further, many of the issues that I first ran on in 2019 are still top of mind today because our shared work has only started. With Marlborough's tremendous growth, increasing population, and businesses, a West End fire station is a top priority. I continue to advocate for more resident engagement, as this station will serve generations to come, so size, location, and cost-effectiveness are important. Strong public infrastructure and services are essential to the daily lives of our residents and workers. It is a disservice to our city to keep promoting new development without also considering the strain this has on our population and our ability to provide municipal services. Thus, our city needs to approach growth from a macro level through the position of a city planner that is key for cities our size so that development is equitable and sustainable. Many residents share similar concerns around the rate of development, lack of affordable housing, street repairs, increased traffic, and water strain. Importantly, they're also concerned about the increased cost of living, and we need to support our young people, veterans, seniors, and those on fixed incomes in making ends meet so they can stay in Marlborough. Marlborough must be proactive in combating climate change through reducing our carbon footprint. Access to recreational and conservation land is crucial for residents' physical well-being and mental health. Continuing to maintain, improve, and grow our conservation land and other open spaces, as we did with the recent expansion of Callahan State Park, are key. We are on the cusp of an exciting time in the city to increase our environmental work with the influx of a new state grant to update our codes to align with environmental best practices, and the upcoming open space plan with opportunity for public feedback and hopefully a long-awaited dog park. Supporting our small businesses is key to a thriving community, and our downtown is the heart of our city. This past term, I initiated a council order on and will advocate for murals and public art, which would make downtown a vibrant destination and cultural hub that celebrates our history and imagines our future. In conclusion, thank you, Marlborough residents. Despite being unopposed for re-election, I have continued to knock on residents' doors in every ward to listen to your concerns and earn your continued support. So thank you for sharing your stories with me, and I continue my pledge to you to be a voice for our future, your friend, neighbor, and advocate in our city. My name is Samantha Perlman, and I would be honored to serve again as your counselor at large. Thank you for watching, and I ask for your vote on November 2nd.
Greetings all. My name is Laura Wagner, and it's my honor to be running for re-election to Marlborough City Council representing Ward 1. I've thoroughly enjoyed my first term learning about the operations of our city on a much deeper level. The municipal professionals I've collaborated with have all been welcoming and readily answered my many questions. My colleagues on the City Council have also been very supportive, especially through this difficult first term when much of our work together was done remotely. What I've especially enjoyed, however, was serving my fellow Ward 1 residents. It's why I ran in 2019 and why I'm running again in this election. I've enjoyed helping to navigate municipal services, answering questions, and resolving a variety of issues that impact Ward 1 residents. As a social worker, Ward Councilor has been a perfect fit for me. I understand the importance of relationships, developing and navigating systems, and connecting the right people in order to resolve problems. Moving forward, my first priority is public health. The past few years have been very difficult, and many residents have had to navigate unprecedented challenges. The city has done an excellent job making COVID-19 vaccinations available. Getting vaccinated is the most important thing we can do to protect the children and the health of this community. I would like to see our vaccination rate reach over 80%, and we're getting close to achieving this goal. As reported by Mayor Vigeant at the October 18th City Council meeting, 78% of our residents have had at least one dose, and 71% are fully vaccinated. All of our city pharmacies offer walk-in appointments. Let's reach 80% in time for the holidays and keep our loved ones safe. Keeping our public health services strong is a priority. I'm grateful for the work of our city's first responders and healthcare providers as well. Marlborough Hospital is an asset in our community, and I will continue to make sure they have the city's support. Our business community is important to me. For the past 7 years, I have been the executive director of a small nonprofit. The responsibility of making payroll and keeping an organization running is a lot. Our local businesses have had an exceptionally hard few years, and I want to make sure that they have the support that they need. Environmental justice and climate action is important to me. Every decision we make needs to take the impact on the environment into consideration. Our city's commitment to green energy is something to be proud of. I'm honored to announce that I've been endorsed by the Massachusetts chapter of the Sierra Club. Making sure new projects include measures that limit their carbon footprint will continue to be a very important priority for me. Public health, business and the economy, economic justice and climate action, education, housing, food security, and transportation. There are many issues addressed by municipal government. When making decisions for what's best for our community, city officials have to consider competing goals. When each of us ask ourselves, what is my responsibility, when thinking about our commitment to community, it helps us to work together. When we work together, we take care of one another while also thinking about what we will pass on to future generations. It's my honor to have this chance to serve my community. I ask for your vote on November 2nd. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dave Doucette, and I'm running for a re-election for the Marlborough Ward 2 City Council seat. I live and work in Ward 2, and I hope to continue to earn your vote. I've been married to my wonderful wife, Debbie, for over 30 years, and we have 2 daughters and 2 grandchildren. I first worked in Marlborough in 1987 for DEC, and I've lived in the city since 1992. I have a bachelor's in engineering and MBA degrees. I've worked in white-collar and blue-collar jobs. Nowadays, many people outside of City Council just know me as Dave from Flooring. When I decided to run for the City Council 6 years ago, I knew my 30 years of experience in high-tech with business and technology would help me when I was elected. That broad background has provided a more pragmatic perspective during my terms in office. My experience truly adds value to the discussions and debates of the City Council. I care about the people in Ward 2 and respond to them when contacted about issues such as the safety of Farm Road for motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists. When someone calls, I respond. I prefer meeting face-to-face to discuss issues, even during this pandemic. Issues about stop signs, location of fences, damaged mailboxes, traffic issues, setting up speed reporting signs, road repair, or haphazard property lines. I follow up with them to see how it was addressed or advise them on how to advance the issue. I chaired the inaugural meeting of the City Council Climate Resiliency Committee to address climate change at the municipal level. If you're interested in learning more about the committee, I posted the introductory presentation on my website, doucetteformarlboro.org. That's with the number 4. The city continues to make progress with renewable energy and addressing climate change, and I continue to work in getting new municipal projects using renewable energy instead of fossil fuels. Schools are getting solar panels on their roofs, which is saving the city taxpayers money. Now there are charging stations and electric vehicles scattered throughout the city, including the garage basement behind City Hall, Galone Park, and the new municipal parking lot on Bolton Street. The city is working on the Bolton Street landfill to install solar panels to offset the electrical bills from other city buildings. But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. Using locally sourced renewable energy reduces the demand for fossil fuels. Any renewable energy captured within our city means less energy imported somewhere else, like unstable parts of the world or our political adversaries. I have proudly taken the mantle of the city's resident geek, a green geek that understands technology, business, and now local government. I'm always learning how all that impacts local citizens and small businesses. I'm not afraid to ask questions during public hearings or council meetings to clarify issues. I figured if I didn't understand, someone out there might not understand either. Our small city of Marlborough has transitioned from farming to shoe manufacturing to mini computers the size of refrigerators to this multi-industry center of the region where everyone walks around with smartphones. Civilization is dynamic. It either grows or declines. Our city of Marlborough's challenge is to manage growth and development while maintaining affordability for all its citizens. I want to see Marlborough continue to grow and advance for generations with world-class educational opportunities, good-paying jobs, and effective transportation. Elected city officials from all political views need to work together for Marlborough's benefit. Officials elected to office need to think long-term to advance our city through the long arc of history. Our city council does work together for the benefit of our city. We show elected officials from all political views can work together, something which could happen at all levels of government. Changes in the city don't occur overnight. I learned patience while working as an engineer on projects lasting many years. Over the past 6 years, I've shown my long-term commitment to the city of Marlborough and the residents of Ward 2. Some conservatives call me liberal. Some liberals call me conservative. I am progressive. I don't just talk the talk. I walk the walk. And I also bike the e-bike you've ever seen me canvassing around the ward. Working to represent our ward on the City Council has been a privilege. Please support my work to build a better city for future generations living, working, and visiting Marlborough. If you wish to learn more about me, you can go to my website, doucetteformarlboro.org, again with the number 4. The thing is, democracy is not a spectator sport. If you live in Ward 2, I respectfully ask for your vote in the upcoming municipal election on November 2nd so I can continue working to improve Marlborough for all of us. Also be sure you get as many people as you can to vote. Seriously, municipal election has embarrassing low turnout compared to other elections. If you can't make it to the polls, you can vote early at City Hall or vote absentee. Thank you, especially for all the voters living in Marlborough Ward 2.
Hello, Ward 3 constituents. I hope you're doing well. It has been a very long 18 months. My name is Christian Dumais, and I am your city councilor. I am running unopposed to continue to be your city councilor on November 2nd. This will be my 3rd term in office. This term had many challenges with COVID, but we plugged along given all the obstacles. I think the hardest part was I felt a disconnect with all of you and my fellow colleagues with remote meetings and social distancing. The projects downtown, Eon Main, and Rowe Funeral Home that were approved and slated to be constructed are still pending. We as councilors kept an eye on the fiscal responsibilities this year, which was more important than ever with the demands and uncertainty of COVID. I know the fire station is making progress and a hot-button topic and long overdue. The mayor's office had 2 information sessions about the location. The negotiation for the land is still active. I am honored to be the only councilor to serve on the fire station subcommittee, and I continue to bring that knowledge of what is needed to the council. Also, I stress how important the station is for Ward 3. I was happy to have voted for the library expansion project in my 1st term, and the project just broke ground and continues to make progress. The Goodnow Brothers Elementary School, which was also voted on in my 1st term, is completed, open, and came in under budget. I look forward to the approval of the new station and representing you for another term. For all those that voted in 2020 and in this election will receive a letter with my contact information. Your input, ideas, and concerns want to be heard. I know that seeing I am unopposed, I hope you exercise your civic right and get out to vote Tuesday, November 2nd. Thank you, WMCT-TV, for the opportunity, and I thank you, the constituents, for electing me again.
Hi, I'm Teona Brown, and I'm a candidate for the Ward 4 Council seat. I'm a lifelong resident of Marlborough, and I graduated from Marlborough High School in 1996 and then earned a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from Framingham State University. I live on Milham Street with my husband Chris and our son Tanner, who attends Richards School. My parents, Gary and Susan, still live in my childhood home, which is near downtown Marlborough. Having the people I care most about living in this city is one of the biggest reasons I want to be more involved and help make this city the best place to live, no matter what your age or stage in life may be. In addition to my own family, I genuinely care about my fellow neighbors and residents and want everyone to feel like they have someone representing them who will listen and follow up with their concerns. As I've been around Ward 4, knocking on doors and speaking with people at meet and greet events, I've heard a common trend loud and clear. There are many of you who simply don't know what our municipal government does or why it's important to participate in our local elections. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to attend the local municipal government academy, which was offered through the mayor's office. Each week we listened to presentations given by department heads and other officials. It was a wonderful way to hear what duties for each department are and what services they provide to the residents. If the program is offered again in the future, I highly recommend it, even for people who think they already have a good understanding of how our city operates. I myself thought I had a good general understanding of our different departments and their functions, but these sessions taught me a lot. During the sessions, it was encouraged for participants to consider applying to join a board or a committee or even run for public office, which has greatly contributed to my consideration to run for city council. If elected, I will be able to use the information I learned during the academy and apply it toward helping my fellow residents. From the conversations I have already had, I am aware of some common concerns among the residents of Ward 4, which include the location of the proposed West End Fire Station, water and sewer costs, water main breaks, and issues of low water pressure. I have heard concerns about the pace of residential and commercial development in the city, which is a concern I share as well. While I understand cities and towns change over time and growth and development can be beneficial, I feel the rate at which we have seen these projects going up feels too quick, and I would like to see how we're able to handle matters such as increased traffic and use of resources such as water with the current population before we move toward additional development. As a leader, I would have conversations with department heads and other officials to bring these issues to light, encourage increased communication and transparency, and try to collaborate on finding solutions that are achievable. In my personal and professional life, I pride myself on being proactive rather than reactive, as well as being honest and transparent. In my work as an early educator, in both the classroom and on an administrative level, I have found that being upfront and honest with the parents of my students has allowed me to build solid working relationships that have a foundation in trust. In local government, I recognize this is not just my community, it's our community. If I have the honor of serving as a counselor in our community, I will bring the same honesty and integrity to the council seat as I do in my personal and professional life. I hope you'll consider voting for me to represent you in our Ward 4 neighborhood. I'm ready to bring my all to the table, and I will serve my community with great pride. Thank you for taking the time to listen to my statement, and please do not hesitate to reach out to me directly with any questions you may have. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Sean Navin, and for the past 2 years, I have had the honor of serving as Marlborough's Ward 6 City Councilor. I am a lifelong Marlborough resident, and along with my wife Jessica, I'm a proud graduate of the Marlborough Public School System. We love our hometown, which is why we chose to buy a home and start our family here. Our son Giovanni was born just a few weeks ago, and we look forward to raising him in this community. Marlborough has a lot to offer. We're a safe and strong community with good schools, wonderful people, and a lot to do. Yet I still believe what I always have, that our best days are ahead of us. 2 years ago, I ran for city council because I wanted to serve my community. I believed then that experiences gained through a career in public service would enable me to well represent all the residents of Ward 6, and I still believe that today. Through my first term, I worked hard to advocate for our neighbors, be responsive to their questions and concerns, and to act as a liaison between city departments and the people they serve. I love this job, and I have done my best to do it effectively. I am running for a second term to continue this work. To say that the last term was unpredictable is a bit of an understatement. However, despite the unexpected challenges, disruptions, and tragedies caused by the global pandemic, I am incredibly proud of how our city responded and continues to find ways to serve our residents. I have had the privilege of seeing up close the countless hours and efforts that our city's department heads have dedicated to protecting our community. The selflessness of our doctors, nurses, and medical professionals, the tireless efforts of our police, firefighters, and emergency personnel, the dedication of our educators, the resiliency of our businesses, and the resolve of our residents are a testament to the strength of our city. To all those who have put the well-being of our community and our neighbors ahead of themselves, thank you. Despite the disruptions of the pandemic, our city's government has been able to adapt in order to continue serving our residents without interruption. The day-to-day functions of the City Council continued, and we were able to still accomplish a number of important legislative items to support the continued success of our community. Still, there is much work in front of us. Over the next 2 years, the City Council will continue to deliberate several important matters. Primarily, we must continue to help navigate the challenges and uncertainties of the pandemic, ensuring that our residents and businesses continue to recover and thrive together. A major part of this is making sure that people have access to critical services. A community shows its true strength by providing support for those that need it the most. Ensuring that all of our residents are taken care of must be the priority of our government and all the decisions we make. This means making sure our students have the necessary tools to succeed, our seniors have access to critical services, that our veterans are treated with the respect and honor they deserve, and that the neediest among us are cared for. Another item of importance that the Council will soon consider is a path forward toward building a new fire station to provide quicker emergency response times for the safety and security of residents on the west side of the city. This is a critically important need, but should be done thoughtfully while trying to address the concerns of nearby neighbors. Finally, we should continue to diversify our tax base by pursuing responsible economic development policies. Growth is critical to Marlborough's long-term success, but it has to be approached in a way that limits adverse impacts to our residents and visitors. We need to be thoughtful and deliberate about new developments that we permit in the city, and we need to make sure that our growth and development policies balance our housing, business, and open space needs. This includes mitigating traffic issues across our community. These are just a few of the items before the Council. There will be many others of significance, and I will be honored to tackle them on behalf of the community, particularly the residents of Ward 6. If you have any thoughts or concerns that you would like to raise directly, I would love to hear them. Please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I respectfully ask for your vote on November 2nd. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Denise Ryan, and I am candidate for re-election to the Marlborough School Committee. My husband Michael and I first moved to Marlborough in 2001 and moved to our current home in 2004. I am a lifelong resident of Massachusetts, having grown up in the town of Norwood. Mike and I have been married for 21 years and have 4 children. Our oldest son, Harrison, graduated from Marlborough High School in 2020. Our son, Anderson, is a sophomore, and our daughters attend Wickham School. Allison is in 8th grade, and Emerson is in 7th grade. I graduated from Endicott College with a bachelor's degree in interior design. After working in the furniture and interior design business for over 20 years, I left that position in early 2013 to spend more time with my family. In the fall of 2013, I was elected to serve as a member of the Marlborough School Committee. During that time, I have also been working part-time as a substitute teacher in the Sudbury and Southborough elementary schools. Last year, I returned to work full-time at an elementary school in Weston as a building-based substitute teacher. Elementary education has become a passion of mine. I was recently accepted into the Endicott College School of Education, and this fall I have begun taking courses towards my master's degree in elementary education. After all, we are never too old to continue learning. I believe our school district is headed in a positive direction. In my opinion, the biggest challenge currently facing our district is equity among students. We need to be mindful of addressing the learning needs of all students at every grade level, at every level of learning. identifying the needs of all learners, including low learners, English language learners, as well as our high-achieving learners, and those in the middle. All students need to be challenged and engaged in learning, and we need to be setting high expectations for all. Equity in the classroom is a process and not an immediate result. It is an ongoing process of reforming practices, policies, and procedures at the school and district level to support academic fairness and inclusion to ensure that every child has the resources, teachers, interventions, and supports they need to be successful. Equity can have a whole host of benefits for every student. I am proud of many accomplishments we have achieved as an effective team over the last 8 years. At Marlboro High School, I am proud of the Early College Pathways program that allows high school students to earn college credits, as well as our EMT certification program. These are amazing opportunities for our students to see their potential, and it saves their families thousands of dollars on college tuition. In the middle school, I'm excited to see the new ways that they are incorporating STEAM into the curriculum. Teachers are using technologies and innovative ways to educate our students, encouraging them to think outside the box and develop skills they can carry with them to the high school and beyond. In the elementary schools, we have been able to offer tuition-free full-day kindergarten for the last 7 years, and will now be offering tuition-free preschool and expanding the early childhood center over the next few years. This will provide another incredible opportunity for our youngest learners and will give more students the ability to succeed regardless of their economic status. If re-elected, my goal is to continue to foster open communication. I welcome feedback from parents and members of the community, and I look for input from teachers. As a member of the school committee for the last 8 years, we have worked collaboratively as a team to continue to move the district forward. As a member of the negotiations subcommittee, we have successfully negotiated with all 7 unions in a positive and collaborative way and have come to fair agreements. I am most proud of my time serving on the new school building committee, in which we were able to build what is now the Goodnow Brothers Elementary School. I will continue to advocate for our school buildings and facilities to be maintained and updated to accommodate the growing needs of our district. Not only have I been an active parent and volunteer in the schools, but I am also an active member of the Marlboro community. I have been a member of the GFWC Marlboro Junior Women's Club for the last 14 years and am the current treasurer and serve on the executive board. I have participated in numerous community events that help people in Marlboro and the surrounding areas. I am also the treasurer of my son's Boy Scout troop and have been the cookie mom for my daughter's Girl Scout troop for the last 6 years. I have a strong commitment to my community, and I have proven that I will put in the time and effort it takes to get any job done. My experience working in elementary schools over the last 8 years has helped me tremendously in understanding the various facets of education and seeing it from a different perspective. I see how the schools work on a daily basis, and my experience has helped me understand education from many different points of view. There is so much more I'd love to share and talk about, but I only have so much time. Please reach out if you have any questions. I would appreciate your vote for re-election to the Marlboro School Committee. Thank you.